Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on A Lover's Complaint, which is one of Shakespeare's epic poems. It's not super epic. It's maybe not as long as some of the others or like the Iliad or anything like that. But it is talking about a woman who's very distraught and looking a hot mess, and she's getting rid of all sorts of possessions and letters and things like that, dumping them in a river. And an older gentleman comes over to ask her what's wrong, hoping that he might be able to give some help or some advice or something like that. And she starts out by saying that she's not as old as she looks, but what aged her was the fact that she fell in love with this man who she probably shouldn't have. But then she goes on to start describing the man so that we all understand why she was so in love with him. And she said, he was extremely good looking and also a nice person and an excellent horse rider. And stanza 17 picks up right there because there was sort of the question of, is he riding the horse or is the horse riding him, because they had such a great relationship. Stanza 17 kicks off with, but quickly on his side the verdict went. His real habitude gave life and grace to appertainings and to ornament, accomplished in himself, not in his case. All aids, themselves made fairer by their place, came for additions, yet their purpose trim pieced not his grace, but were all graced by him. So on the tip of his subduing tongue all kinds of arguments and question deep, all replication prompt and reason strong, for his advantage still did wake and sleep, to make the weeper laugh, the laugher weep. He had the dialect and different skill, catching all passions in his craft of will. That he did in the general bosom reign, of young, of old, and sexes both enchanted, to dwell with him in thoughts or to remain in personal duty, following where he haunted. Consents bewitched, ere he desire, have granted, and dialogued for him what he would say, asked their own wills, and made their wills obey. Many there were that did his picture get, to serve their eyes, and in it put their mind, like fools that in the imagination set the goodly objects which they abroad find, of lands and mansions, theirs in thought assigned, and labouring in more pleasures to bestow them than the true gouty landlord which doth owe them. So this is just more talk about the guy that she was in love with, that she fell for, saying that he was lovely and he made all of the people around him better by his presence. People would come to him, but they wouldn't add anything to his life necessarily. They would be made better by being around him. And she says he spoke really well and he always answered things quickly and he made people laugh and he made people cry and all of that, so much so that everybody loved this guy. Men, women, old people, young people, everybody loved this guy. And some of them were maybe a little obsessed. They might like follow him around. A bunch of them got a picture of him so they could like take it home and fantasize that he was in love with them too and all that sort of thing. So this she's got plenty of support for why she would have fallen in love with this guy, why she would have been in a relationship with this guy, probably younger or than she should have been, or before she should have like dedicated herself to someone that was wooing her. So there was plenty of reason for that, is what she's saying, because as we all know, after a breakup you have to justify why you were in it in the first place. Gotta make sense of all of it somehow. So that's where we are for right now, but A Lover's Complaint, something's eventually gonna go wrong, and we're getting there. I promise we're getting there. Come on back tomorrow for more. I'll see you then. Mwah.